Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham greets the King of Norway on his country's National Day. The Ministry of Health announces the death of a male citizen and 404 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. And the Directorate General of Disease Surveillance and Control continues follow-up of the daily registered cases of COVID-19 for all governorates of the Sultanate. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King Harald V of Norway on his country's National Day. The Ministry of Health announced the death of an 80-year-old male citizen, which makes the total COVID-19 deaths in the Sultanate to 21. It also announced 404 new confirmed cases. That brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 5,029. The Ministry of Health stressed that 1,436 cases have recovered.
In the efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19, the ministry advises all citizens and residents to keep on washing hands with water and soap. Avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes. Follow hygienic habits when coughing and sneezing. Adhere strictly to social distancing instructions. Stay at home and not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Adhering to isolation and social distancing will prevent you, your family and the community from COVID-19. Stay safe.
The technical team in the Directorate General of Disease Surveillance and Control at the Ministry of Health follows up the daily registered cases for all governorates of the Sultanate through its meetings as the team continues its efforts of epidemic investigation since the announcement of the first COVID-19 case in China. The meetings focus on investigation of sources of infections and putting up procedures to stop their spread. The bodies concerned also follows up the pandemic situation as well as the effectiveness of the precautionary measures and guidelines of social distancing, in addition to focusing on whether there is an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases due to the recent opened commercial activities. The Directorate General calls on companies and institutions on the necessity to follow the prevention measures to ensure limiting the spread of COVID-19. The novel coronavirus has killed at least 321 people since the outbreak first emerged in China last December. At least 4.55 million cases of coronavirus have been registered in 196 countries and territories. Of these, at least 1.61 million are now considered recovered. The United States has the highest number of deaths overall, with 87,568 from 1.44 million cases. At least 250,747 have been declared recovered. Britain has the second highest toll with 33,998 deaths from 236,711 cases. Europe has a total of 164,536 deaths from 1.87 million cases. Asia has 11,872 deaths and 343,283 cases. The Middle East has 8,018 deaths and 264,535 cases. Africa has 2,614 deaths from 77,700 cases, and Oceania 126 deaths from 8,381 cases. Italy, one of the nations worst hit by COVID-19, announced it would reopen to European holidaymakers from June the 3rd and scrap quarantine requirements for arrivals. Parasols and sun loungers have started to appear on Italy's coastlines, and Greece will open some of its air and sea links from Monday. Beaches in France and Italy opened today for the first weekend since the countries eased coronavirus lockdowns while football fans awaited the return of Major League action, with Germany Bundesliga set to kick off. The games will be held without spectators and players will have to follow strict hygiene guidelines. Former Chelsea striker Salomon Kalou was suspended by Hertha Berlin just for shaking hands with teammates. The reopenings are a major sign of returning normality for countries hit hard by the pandemic, which has killed more than 307,000 people, infected over 4.5 million, wrought vast economic havoc and brought life to a halt. With the European summer fast approaching, governments are moving to help their key tourism industries to salvage something from the wreckage. Thailand today reported no new coronavirus cases or deaths as the country begins to reopen businesses and ease restrictions. A spokesman for the Government Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration said today there are 2 zeros. Thank you all Thais who have given their cooperation. This is the second day since March 9th that the country has reported no new daily cases. Thailand tomorrow will allow malls and department stores to reopen. It will also shorten a nighttime curfew by 1 hour to become 2300 to 400 from 2200 to 400. Thailand has reported total of 3,025 cases of the coronavirus and 56 fatalities. One hope of avoiding a dreaded second wave has been a vaccine. And U.S. President Donald Trump voiced hope yesterday that one would be available by late 2020, a timeline deemed unrealistic by many experts. Trump told reporters at the White House as he discussed Americans' Operation Warp Speed effort in the global race for a vaccine that they are looking to get it by the end of the year if they can, maybe before. This timeline is more aggressive than the one-year scenario put forward by European scientists. The hunt for a vaccine for a disease that the World Health Organization WHO says may never disappear has also threatened to become a source of tension between the globe's haves and have-nots. The U.S. Space Force, the newest branch of the armed services, now has its own flag to fly as it goes about protecting American interests on the next frontier. Defense Department officials presented President Donald Trump with the Space Force flag during a short Oval Office event yesterday. The dark blue and white flag includes elements intended to evoke the vast recesses of outer space. The president, during yesterday's ceremony, also said that the U.S. is building a super-duper missile that can travel 17 times faster than what they have right now. The Space Force, which was officially established in December, is the first new military service since the U.S. Air Force was established in 1947. The 16,000 airmen and civilians that make up the Space Force technically remain part of the Air Force, which previously oversaw offensive operations in space. But Trump has made clear he sees the newest service as critical to the future of American defense.
In this case, we're getting a 4-star.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
His Excellency Ambassador Saleh bin Mohammed Al-Saqri presented his credentials to His Excellency President Nguyen Phu Trong of Vietnam as an accredited ambassador of the Sultanate of Vietnam. This came during a ceremony in the Presidential Palace in the capital Hanoi. During the meeting, His Excellency the Ambassador conveyed the greetings and best wishes of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to His Excellency the President of Vietnam and the Vietnamese people. On his part, His Excellency the President of Vietnam asked the ambassador to convey his best wishes and greetings to His Majesty the Sultan and the Omani people. He also wished all the best to the ambassador in his mission and for the bilateral relations between the two countries of further progress and prosperity. The Public Establishment for Industrial Estates, Madain, confirmed that the amendments to the investment regulations have earned the industrial estates a new added value. The establishment said that the amendments included advantages and facilities represented in opening the way for real estate investors and developers to invest in all industrial estates, as well as allowing them to build, operate, manage, sell and rent buildings and commercial and industrial units. The new facilities also include reducing the value of activity licensing fees in industrial estates by up to 70%, as well as reducing the value of activity licensing fees for small projects. Oman Expert Guarantee Agency Credit Oman called upon business owners, including exporters and manufacturers, to benefit from the services and insurance solutions which the agency offers to guarantee their rights and the value of their sales amid current global conditions imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. The agency imparted its concerns to exporters and companies about the risks of delay or failure of reception of commercial dues payable by local and international buyers. The agency added that through the insurance policy, the exporters can obtain their financial dues without hurdles and then proceed with sale and export without incurring financial losses. The total deposits in the banking sector in the Sultanate grew by 4.8% to reach 24 billion and 100 million Omani riyals at the end of March 2020. The data issued by the Central Bank of Oman indicated that private sector deposits with the banking system exceeded 9% to reach 15 billion and 900 million Omani riyals at the end of March 2020, where the figures indicate that the share of the individual sector deposits exceeded 48%. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham greets the King of Norway on his country's National Day. The Ministry of Health announces the death of a male citizen and 404 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. And the Directorate General of Disease Surveillance and Control continues follow-up of the daily registered cases of COVID-19 for all governorates of the Sultanate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.